Building a second brain consists of two core ideas: code, a strategy for creating, and para, a strategy for storing. Today we'll focus on the implementation of the code method, but if you are interested in para, you can check out this video. Before I even came across the concept of building a second brain, I was already maintaining my own version of personal knowledge management system. I use Evernote as a central place to collect and save all sorts of information. I save interesting articles, quotes from a book, cool images and design inspirations, and even emails and files that I thought important were all saved to Evernote. And since it was so easy to capture information into Evernote, I saved everything without really thinking about how these notes might be used in the future. Needless to say, my notebook became bloated very quickly, cluttered with unused content, making it hard to find the notes that I actually needed. The code method, drawn from Tiago Forte's book, Building a Second Brain, addresses this issue. He guides us through a 4-step approach: capture, organize, distill, and express, designed to help build a private collection of knowledge that we can use to improve productivity and creativity. Now, I'm going to try my best to take you through these 4 steps, but for in-depth understanding, I highly recommend reading Tiago's book. Find the link in the description below. Capture. The first step in the code method is capture, which is all about collecting and storing valuable information. This can be split into 2 components: external capture and internal capture. External capture is the process of collecting information from different external sources, such as articles, books, videos, and podcasts. Internal capture, on the other hand, is about capturing your own thoughts and ideas and insights drawn from your own reflections, observations, and personal experiences. I now use OneNote as my second brain, and it makes both external and internal capture very easy. Given that I consume most of my information either on my computer or on my phone, tools like the OneNote Web Clipper makes it incredibly easy to capture content from web pages, and the phone app makes it easy to capture quick notes on the go. So capturing is easy, but what information is actually worth saving in our second brain? Naturally, we're not going to document information from every article we read or every podcast we listen to, and we're certainly not going to record every thoughts and reflections that crosses our minds. So what should we then capture? Tiago suggests to ultimately save what resonates. He shares 4 criteria. Does it inspire? Is it useful? Is it personal? And is it surprising? Does it inspire? Whether it's a quote from a book, a movie scene, a story of your hero overcoming challenges, or a captivating blog post excerpt, if it resonates and uplifts you, save it. This way, you have a personal bank of motivation to tap into when you feel stuck. Is it useful? For me, this is the most important. Whether it's a process, template, or a mental model, if I think they can be used in future projects, I save them. Basically, I save any pieces of information that have the potential to help me solve problems, help me save time, or help me learn. I mean, what good is information if I can't use it? In his book, Tiago cites Richard Feynman's 12 favorite problems method. The Nobel Prize winner consistently maintained 12 active problems in his mind, enabling him to sift through experiences and gather insights that might aid in solving these problems. Is it personal? Any personal experiences that you want to remember, any event or incident that evoked strong emotions for you, anything that happened that made you reflect or change your opinions on things are worth saving. For work, I keep notes of success stories and compliments from my colleagues and my bosses. These are not only helpful during annual performance reviews, but also in job interviews as well. In fact, similar to Feynman's 12 favorite problems method I mentioned earlier, I have a list of common interview questions like, give me an example of when you were able to overcome a difficult situation with your teammates, or give me an example of when you learned from your failures. I document and save these stories as I experience them so that I always have a rich bank of personal stories I can reference in the future. Is it surprising? If information isn't surprising to you, then you already knew it at some level. So why bother capturing things you already know? We should capture information that surprises us, challenges our understanding of the world or whatever topic we're interested in, and the information that reshapes how we think. Organize. How do we organize the information that we capture? Rather than organizing information by subjects like we're taught to do in school, we should organize information by how they'll be used in the future. This ensures that everything we save and keep have a purpose. Notes related to active tasks and projects have high actionability, so they're saved under projects. Notes that help you manage and maintain areas of your work and your personal life, like finance, health, career, are saved under areas. Tips, tricks, mental models, templates, and processes that can serve as helpful resources in the future, but maybe not immediately actionable, can be saved under resources. Everything else gets saved under archives. Tiago offers a whole separate book that explains how to organize information for actionability, which is called the PARA method. Again, I do have a video about setting up PARA in OneNote, so if you're interested in that, you can check out this video here. Distill. So we've saved what resonates into our second brain, and we've organized them according to their purpose and actionability. But how will we discover these notes again, and how will we interact with them? It's easy to save tons and tons of content, but turning it into a form that will be accessible in the future is another matter. This is where it's helpful to distill the notes into their core essence before we save them into our second brain. We should be able to glance at a note and immediately recognize what it's about. If you don't distill the information up front, then you'll have to read through the whole note to get reminded on what they're about and why you saved them in the first place. For capture notes, Tiago suggests progressive summarization technique. This technique involves multiple layers of summarization using highlights, bold, and underline text formats to gradually distill the most important ideas and insights into a concise executive summary. The next time you revisit the note, you don't need to repeat all of the effort to reread the entire note from beginning to end. You can get the gist of the idea by reviewing the top-level summary that's been formatted and highlighted. You always have the option to review the details if you choose to. By distilling information, you're communicating to your future self in clear, concise, and effective way, and this is an important skill to master whether you're communicating with your future self or with others. Although we distill information that ultimately resonates with us, I find that AI tools like ChatGPT is extremely useful in helping to extract key information from long text. Express. The whole point of building a second brain is so that we can apply the collected information towards some purpose. There should be some output or actions coming out from the notes. For example, the notes can be applied to a big passion project like writing a book, or it can be for simple things like making dinner from saved recipes. The notes that we preserve in the second brain are like little building blocks or Lego pieces. Tiago calls them intermediate packets. They can be notes from meetings, research findings, web clippings, or other notes. You can connect and relate these notes towards your larger projects. The more notes or building blocks you have, the easier it is to build something. With this, you'll never have to stare at a blank screen and force creativity in the moment because you already have many ideas to draw from. For example, I have a folder called YouTube Ideas in the Areas notebook of my OneNote. Every time I come across an idea for a video, whether it's while reading a book, listening to a podcast, or watching other YouTube videos, I capture the idea in my OneNote. I do this all the time, so over time, I have a list of ideas that I can build from. I don't have to start from scratch, and because these ideas are organized in the same place, it helps me recognize patterns and relationships between them, which allows me to reimagine seemingly unrelated ideas into an original idea that becomes my own unique creation. So that is my take on the code method. Again, I encourage you to read Tiago Forte's book on building a second brain. It's well worth it. If you're interested in how I use Para to organize my notes in OneNote, click on this video next. Thanks.